Yeah, the PSV and Netherlands striker Cody Gakpo then is on his way to Merseyside. This was announced yesterday from on this. Super Sam is back with us.
Yeah, good day for Liverpool yesterday. Win it
all round. And the transfer window's not even open yet.
I know, and then the travelling fans on their way back up to Merseyside were greeted to some good news. It was a Paul Joyce exclusive, and he and Paul Hurst right in the Times this morning. Liverpool last night agreed a £37 million move for Cody Gakpo, beating Man United in the race for the forward. Negotiations with PSV progressed swiftly yesterday, and the medical may even take place in the next 24 hours. The fee could go up to £44 million, and if the transfer is completed, it will bolster Jurgen Klopp's options after injuries to Luis Diaz and Diogo Jota. United had been viewed as leading the race for Gakpo, but the interest of Erik Ten Hag's side prompted Liverpool to act with the situation similar to the way they gazumped Tottenham Hotspur last January to sign Luis Diaz, of course, from Porto. Cass, this came out of nowhere really last night. I don't think anyone saw this coming. What was your initial reaction? Is this the sort of player the Liverpool need to bring in January?
Wow, more goals. You know, you just look, you think you just made a Jota and Diaz, and you got Salah in there already. Núñez, you'd like to think they're going to get goals as well, chip in. More goals. The most surprising thing about him, he's 6'4". You know, but he's not a traditional centre forward at all. He's very athletic, can play anywhere in the forward line. And that's typical of a Klopp signing, that he likes to use certain players in different positions. But he's a huge, 6'4", he's 23 years old. There's a lot of development. When I heard the news last night, I was thinking, who was the last great Dutch striker that came over? And Ruud van Nistelrooy, probably.
Van Persie?
Van Persie, well, yeah. I would say, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Van Persie's a great striker. They haven't had that many. But, you know, will he be as good as them? You never know, because he comes out the Eredivisie, which is a very hard league to judge Dutch players.
Diaz has had a bit of a setback to his injuries. He won't be back until around sort of late February, early March time. We know that Jota's out for a long period of time. Do you think that that's forced Jurgen Klopp to go out and bring in Cody Gakpo, or do you always think that bringing in another attacker was
what Man United did? It's what Man United did. Man United did that all the time with forwards. You know, one time they had Sheringham, Schalke, York, Cole. You know, they had loads of options. He wanted loads of options in forward positions, and this is exactly what Liverpool are doing. They've got a couple of players injured, and Liverpool see an opportunity. He's 23 years old, and a decent fee now.
Oh, a very good fee.
Well,
$37 million. Yeah. It's a steal, really. And it's a big if, obviously, if he can make it work at Liverpool. But when I saw the breaking news, I must admit, I thought, seriously, how many more forwards do they need, Liverpool? It's quite incredible, because you've also got Firmino in there.
Yes,
now,
of course. Wow.
You know, there's Firmino, Jota, Salah, Diaz, Núñez, Gakpo. It's going to be fearsome, but it's how you fit them all in. But of course, for the Netherlands, he played in a sort of number 10 role, didn't he? Is that something he could be utilised at Liverpool then?
Well, he's so versatile that, you can play him in any position in the forward line, in my opinion. He's quick as well, which adds into that. And you just touched on Firmino. There will be a sad exodus from some Liverpool players who have been terrific for Liverpool Football Club. I think Firmino will be that in the summer. They've got a few running down their contract. Oxlade-Chamberlain, but he's not really as forward thinking. But he played a really good role yesterday for Liverpool. I thought the Ox played really well yesterday for Liverpool. So,
do you think in Liverpool's bid to try and get into the top four, there'll be more signings coming in January? Do you think they'll look to strengthen, in particular, in that midfield area, or do you think with Gakpo they've got enough to see out the rest of the season and enough quality to get into the top four?
Well, my feeling has been, from the incredible season last year and the way they started this year, a lot of activity will happen this summer. But they've got given an opportunity, the red light, to go and get someone, and it's become available maybe sooner than they thought, and they've just gone for it. They did that with Diaz. Diaz come out of nowhere very quickly, didn't it? So, Liverpool are certainly on the ball in regards to their recruitment, but the fee is not, it's not a 60, 70, 80 million pound buy. But they've had, as a club, a number of good players coming. Jota, for example, for 40 million. Mo Salah, 40 million, and look at their return.
Was 30 odd million.
Yeah.
And when you're stealing a march on your rivals as well.
Yeah.
Manchester
Makes it even more
United,
sweet, right?
yeah. I mean, exactly. Erik Ten Hag will be thinking, hang on, how have we been slow? How have we been this slow in not getting this over the line when Liverpool have been able to get it done as soon as it's now emerged? We all mentioned, it came out of nowhere, this one.
I know people might not say this, you have to be careful what you say sometimes, but it's amazing that, Virgil van Dijk was with him in the World Cup, and I wouldn't imagine that there would have been a few conversations about Liverpool from Virgil van Dijk. Players have a big influence on players on international duty. I remember being in the Republic of Ireland and loads of transfers that happened, and certain words were said to certain people at times on our gaffer fancies you, whether it's a Man United player saying to a player who they might be interested in. That happens quite often.
And does it happen off the player's back, or sometimes does the manager... could Jurgen Klopp have spoke to Virgil and said, put in a good word, we really want him in January?
Well, I've always said, Sir Alex Ferguson was one of the greatest at recruitment, but he went after a lot of players and he had conversations via players. That happened a lot. It wasn't just Alex Ferguson. That happened a lot. That managers would just come and say, hey, our manager fancies you. Or, our manager really likes you as a player.
I always remember Gary Neville saying, his own words, that he once knocked on Steven Gerrard's door during England training or during an England camp, and he said the conversation was short, but he said he tried his best just to put out a potential feeling of him coming to Man United. It
happens regularly, especially on international duty, and the link Virgil van Dijk, and there he comes across, and you've got, of course there'd have been a conversation. You imagine Virgil van Dijk, Klopp would have probably said to him, the lad, we've watched him, we like him.
Do you think then Erik Ten Hag will be saying to Malacia, you didn't do your job, did you, in the Netherlands camp? And because if Van Dijk's done it, why have you not done it?
I'm sure a lot of Liverpool fans listening to this, hoping that Jordan Henderson might have had the same impact on Jude Bellingham, perhaps.
This is it. This is it indeed. Well, I mean, they've struck pretty quick, Liverpool, to bolster their side. The agreement then has been made between PSV and Liverpool for Cody Gakpo to move to the Premier League in January for 37 million. A pretty good deal, it seems, all round then for Liverpool, who are strengthening their forward options.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.